All right, happy Madaraka Day. I know I'm telling you this when the day is almost coming to a close, but it's my hope that as many Kenyans, you have enjoyed yours. Karibu sana. And of course, it is time for TV47 Weekend Edition. We have lots lined up for you. We take a look at what has been happening, especially on the national celebrations of Madaraka Day. But of importance, what is equally happening where you are and beyond. Karibu sana. It's always my pleasure doing this with you. Here are the highlights. Tonight, ODM Chief Ruto Odinga now wants the government to compensate those killed during the anti-finance bill protests.
Some people who died during that time. I want today to say that we should do compensation.
After President Ruto sought forgiveness from Gen Z. Also tonight, President Ruto announces the return of Kazim Tani across the country to benefit the youth.
Kuanzia next week, ile ilikuwa inaitwa Kazim Tani, sasa itaanza Kenya mzima.
Plus, stampede. 4 journalists injured during a stampede in Homa Bay, but the celebrations did not miss pomp and color. And activist Rose Njeri is still being held at the Pangani police station after her arrest.
She keeps on getting anemia, lack of blood, so it's not a good place for her to be in.
Linda Alela is my name. I'll be assisted by Catherine Simaloi on the sign language interpreter's side. And straight to the stories of the day, we begin with the national celebrations of Madaraka Day, where ODM Chief Ruto Odinga now wants President William Ruto to compensate Gen Z who are victims of last year's anti-finance bill protests. Ruto says that an apology that was made by President William Ruto recently is not enough. Elizabeth Mutuku reports from Homa Bay.
At the Ruto Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay County during the 62nd Madaraka Day celebrations. ODM Chief Ruto Odinga called on President William Ruto to compensate the Gen Z who were victims of the 2024 anti-finance bill protests.
But then there's the issue of people who are injured. Some people who died during that time. I want today to say that we should do compensation.
Ruto spoke just days after President William Ruto sought forgiveness from Gen Z for the wrongdoings by the government. Ruto, however, says that a forgiveness is not enough.
Both our countries believe in multilateralism because peace, justice and prosperity should not be the privilege of some at the expense of others. We are, after all, an international community. And in a community, we look out for one another. And in a community, solidarity matters. In a community, cooperation must be our goal, not selfishness.
President Ruto, however, on his part, criticized those terming him as a one-term president, saying he's focused on delivering for Kenyans.
Hatuna wasiwasi. Hatuna midomo mingi. Tunachapa kazi. Ile kazi bila break.
President William Ruto and his deputy praised the broad-based government as Ruto urged the Homa Bay County residents and Nyanza at large to support him in his development agenda.
As we live and travel this journey, it is also clear on us that between yourself and His Excellency Ruto Odinga, you are speaking to our nation so that we can forge closer ties among ourselves as citizens of Kenya, reduce barriers brought about by politics, ethnicity, religion, And going forward, Your Excellency, we look forward to your partnership, yourself and His Excellency Raila Odinga, and the rest of us who are fortunate to be in leadership positions.
I speak to you today with a deep conviction that our country is firmly on the path to stability and progress. We have weathered turbulent times, navigated serious challenges, and
The celebration of the 62nd Madaraka Day here in Homa Bay County seemingly marks the beginning of new era of politics and which might shape up the 2027 race. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Raila Odinga Stadium, Homa Bay County.
Thank you, Liz, for that. And President William Ruto has announced the return of the Kazim Tani program starting next week. The initiative, which was suspended in 2022, aims to deal with youth unemployment across the country. As Andrin Kilemi now reports, the program is expected to create employment for 110,000 youth nationwide.
After months of anticipation and growing concern over youth unemployment, the president has finally given the green light for the return of the community-based work initiative dubbed Kazim Tani. Speaking during the 62nd Madaraka Day celebrations in Homa Bay, President Ruto said the government is reviving the program as a way to reduce youth unemployment across the country.
So vijana wa Homa Bay mujipange. Kuanzia next week, ile ilikuwa inaitwa Kazim Tani, sasa itaanza Kenya mzima, na vijana 110,000 watapata nafasi ya kushiriki katika kazi hiyo.
President Ruto had previously scrapped the Kazim Tani program in 2022, arguing that young people would instead be absorbed into the affordable housing program. The program had been started by the previous administration under President Uhuru Kenyatta. While announcing the return of Kazim Tani, President Ruto also launched a new initiative dubbed Nyota, National Youth Opportunities Towards Advancement. The program seeks to boost youth participation in the economy through targeted opportunities in creative arts, innovation, and entrepreneurship.
Engaging over 110,000 young people across the 47 counties in meaningful work that strengthens their nation's resilience, beginning with informal settlements. Launched last year in Nairobi, the program has recorded significant success and is now being expanded to the remaining 46 counties.
At the same time, President William Ruto emphasized that the government is prioritizing the blue economy sector as one of the key pillars for national economic growth.
As the country marks over 6 decades of self-rule, the promises made today signal a renewed commitment to tap into every region's potential, with Homa Bay County set to play a critical role in the country's blue economy agenda. Andrin Kilemi, TV47 from the Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay County.
In the same breath and still on the celebrations, Homa Bay County's rich culture took center stage today, with residents making their way into the Raila Odinga Stadium on Saturday evening. Stanley Nyaringita reports on the inaugural pomp and Kerala and also the culture during the 62nd edition of the Madaraka Day celebrations.
Residents of Homa Bay began occupying the seats of the 12,000 capacity Raila Odinga Stadium as early as Saturday evening, eager to witness the 62nd edition of Madaraka Day celebrations for the very first time. As tradition, the Kenya Police Service Band set the stage for the ceremony, all eyes fixated on the gallant officers marching around the field. Meanwhile, in the skies, the Kenya Defence Forces showcased their flying prowess using sophisticated aircraft. The artists did not disappoint either. The performances intertwined with both folk and urban songs and dances further saw those in attendance elated, with President William Ruto leading other dignitaries in the dance. And as the celebrations under the theme on blue economy and maritime affairs in the county went on, the school children came together in a meticulously coordinated performance to form both the letters of Homa Bay as well as a fish. Despite the scorching sun overhead the Ruto and Odinga Stadium, residents here of Homa Bay have been ecstatic of the experience that they have had. Stanley Nyeringita, TV47, Homa Bay.
All right, it was all celebrations in Homa Bay as the county hosted the 62nd Madaraka Day. The locals could not hide their joy reacting to the event. Brian Odhiambo reports from Homa Bay County on the same.
Cheers and jubilation filled the air today in Homa Bay as residents witnessed for the first time the National Madaraka Day celebrations being held at the newly completed Ruto and Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay.
Niwaambie tu, si ati naongezea chumvi. Tangu nianze kuhudhuria sherehe zote hapa nchini Kenya, kama Miss Kenya mambo serious. Ya leo, yani siwezi izungumzia. Yani imekuwa ni kama ndio Kenya imepata uhuru.
Residents expressed their joy, saying this marks a new beginning for the development of the region.
Kwa kweli Homa Bay hakukuwa hata town kubwa tangu kusaliwa kwetu, lakini tumeona maendeleo mengi sana kwa upande ya mabarabara, upande ya mahospitali, upande ya vitu vingi sana hata kwa upande ya electricity.
In addition to this new stadium, other major projects were launched, including the construction of a modern pier, a modern fish market, new roads connecting the town and rural areas.
I'm happy because through this, the celebration of today, we have been able to see the enlargement of this our stadium. And when you see the infrastructure, let's start with the roads all over the Homa Bay County. The ring road, Gor Mahia ring road. Look at the airport, the airstrip, Kabunde. They have been enlarged just because of this. So we are very much happy, and we need only peace in our country.
It has been an immense joy at Ruto and Odinga Stadium, Homa Bay, as the residents of Homa Bay witnessed their first national celebrations since Kenya got independence. Brian Odhiambo, TV47, Homa Bay.
Well, back to what the president said, and pressure continues to mount on the government. That is for the immediate and unconditional release of Rose Njeri, a software developer who is currently being detained at the Pangani police station for creating a website allowing Kenyans to submit their rejections of the Finance Bill 2025 just by a click. Activists and families who pitched camp at the police station have vowed not to relent until Rose is freed. This is, as Sheila Chelagat details, different from the Madaraka Day celebrations.
35-year-old and mother of two, Rose Njeri, spent this Madaraka Day in custody here at the Pangani police station, detained for creating an online platform that allowed Kenyans to voice their objections to the Finance Bill 2025. Her detention has drawn a lot of fury against the authorities online, and on ground today, activists pitched camp at the gate to the station, demanding her unconditional release.
The police claim that they are just providing custody for her, and the matter is with the DCI. So the person who can order for her release is Mr. Amin Mohammed.
Since the arrest on Friday, Rose has been denied bail too, and her electronics confiscated. The state of her health too is giving them sleepless nights.
There were 3 Subarus that had gone to arrest her, Subarus. So you can imagine, and she's a simple, she's smaller than the mother in body size. Na sasa anatumia Subaru 3.
He keeps on getting anemia, lack of blood. So it's not a good place for her to be in, the cells.
The activists maintain that Njeri's arrest is an attempt to silence dissent and discourage digital activism related to the Finance Bill 2025.
Wacheni uoga, serikali. Why are you so afraid of us speaking up? Why are you so afraid of people engaging with bills? That's what we're meant to be doing. That's what you're meant to be facilitating.
She's in high spirits. She knows she has not committed any offense or at least they've not told her what offense she has committed. She's asking Kenyans to continue praying for her.
Earlier today, Busia Senator Okia Omtata visited Rose at the station. He has condemned the apprehension of Rose, saying it was not only unlawful, but also went against her constitutional rights.
Let her go home. She's a law-abiding citizen. Hajakosea tena na tena na tena.
Please release her because she has children waiting for her.
Sheila Chelanget for TV47.
Now, President William Ruto has, on the 62nd Madaraka Day celebrations, highlighted his achievements while speaking at the Raila Odinga Stadium. Ruto stating that the 1,008 affordable houses in Mukuru kwa Njenga marked an important milestone in his government. And as Mudhoni Brenda now details, President Ruto has denied claims that the sugar companies and lease are being sold out.
President William Ruto joined Kenyans at the Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay County to mark 62 years of self-rule. And it was during these celebrations that Ruto highlighted his greatest achievements. The head of state explained that the affordable housing project, especially the Mukuru kwa Njenga housing project where he recently handed over 1,008 houses, marked an important milestone in his political career.
While it was a life-changing moment for the new homeowners, it was equally one of the most profound and consequential days in my political career.
Unveiling the Lipa Sham Mosmos or Lipa Sham Dogomdogo, which is a new payment plan that will allow Kenyans to pay for the social health insurance fund in installments. Ruto stated that more Kenyans are now confident that SHA is indeed working.
This initiative enables Kenyans to remit their annual SHA contributions through flexible, manageable installments, whether monthly, weekly, or even daily, based on their financial ability.
The president further rated his regime as one that has recruited the most teachers since independence, promising to further recruit 24 more thousand teachers by January next year.
We also have built more than 23,000 additional classrooms, easing pressure on existing infrastructure and shielding teachers and learners from the burden of overcrowded classrooms.
The head of state further denied claims that the sugar companies that have been put under leasehold are on sale. Particular, the president pointed out the companies of Sony, Chemilil, Muhoroni and Zoya, stating that the goal is not to privatize or offload the assets. The Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development recently signed agreements with sugarcane farmers and workers' unions to settle arrears ahead of the handover.
Let it be clearly understood that neither the factories nor their assets, including land, have been sold.
The president pointed out that 62 years after attaining self-rule, Kenya has made significant progress, defying the odds to emerge as a modern democracy with a vibrant economy. However, he noted that the country has not yet reached where it ought to be. Explaining the economic turnaround since August 2022, the president said Kenya has recorded an average annual growth of 5%, outperforming the global average of 3.3% and the regional average of 3.8%.
The International Monetary Fund projected our GDP to reach US dollars 132 billion.
The president further said that the government is working with the World Bank to roll out 20 billion Kenya shillings, which is intended to fund the Nyota project.
This initiative aims to empower over 800,000 young people aged between the ages of 18 and 29 years.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki adhered to this year's Madaraka Day celebrations theme, which focused on the blue economy and maritime activities, a sector which he says has been disregarded by previous regimes.
Also spending enough resources to provide support to fisher folk.
Mudhoni Brenda for TV47.
All right, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has now come open in his quest to lay a solid foundation in Mount Kenya region as he pursues to become the vote-rich region spokesperson and political kingpin in the coming elections. And as Micah Gwongo now reports, Gachagua is setting strategies to decide just who will run for which political positions in the Mount Kenya region, a decision that will strengthen his input among fellow opposition leaders.
Kasongo ni kufinish. Arabe! Speaking in Kiambu County Sunday, Gachagua asked the people of Central Region to elect ethical leaders in the forthcoming general election, as he pleaded with them to inquire from him on who will be genuine and dependable.
Na tutikahanyuke? Tutikahanyukire. Nani mukana engera marito macio na ningatweria. Tugoka tugaikarathi. Tukauga uyu ni tumuwi, uyu ni mwega, uyu.
The former second in command is looking to lay a solid foundation in Mount Kenya region to become a spokesperson and political kingpin in the forthcoming elections. Gachagua, who a month ago announced that he may run for the presidency in the 2027 election, sparking mixed reactions among opposition leaders, has reportedly said to have shelved his 2027 presidential bid in efforts to strengthen his input in the country's vote-rich region.
Mundu athurwo tondu one ni mukamuthuri mawega kahora athuri magacemania mundu ucio no epuri maria hianaga atia ni aiyaga karamu ka mwana uri ungi atiguo tondu irima riria turi ni andu aria turathurire.
Gachagua and his successor Kithure Kindiki engaged in a verbal sparring match over Kindiki's bottom-up economic empowerment plan. The struggle for control of Mount Kenya has intensified. The source of the money being spent at the meetings has come under scrutiny too. Gachagua accusing Kindiki of bribing the voters with public funds.
Ngiri 11 akoya ciothe cia Kenya akanengera yesa. Mbeca cia dawa akanengera yesa. Nikio thibitari gutari dawa. Nikio ciana ire mucii. Mbeca ici akanengera yesa.
According to the former DP, the funds should go towards planned development initiatives in agriculture, healthcare and education sectors in order to advance the country.
Vijana yetu anampatia pesa, muwapatie watupe mawe. Nyinyi ni wajinga kiasi gani? How foolish are you, members of parliament from this region? William Ruto is laughing at you. The people from his community, he takes them to the military, to the police, to NYS, to KRA. Lakini watoto wa mlima, chukueni wapatie pesa watupe mawe.
Gachagua called Ruto's previous apology frivolous and urged the president to compensate victims of enforced disappearances and meet with the parents of those killed during last year's protest against the finance bill. Gachagua will later engage the residents of Kagui and Kemende. Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
And now, as Kenya marked its 62nd Madaraka Day, celebrating self-governance and the nation's strides, that is, since independence, well, Kenyans across the country celebrated the day in respective counties, of course with pomp and color, and highlighting Kenya's governance and perhaps the strides that we have made so far. Well, we'll pick that story later. Let's pick a different one, where the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, NACADA, in a joint operation with the Kenya Police on Saturday night, seized several shisha bongs at Ledet Bar and restaurants along Agwin Skodek here in Nairobi's Hurlingham. And of course, the crackdown led by Head of Enforcement at NACADA, Nicholas Kosgei, comes following a ban imposed on the use and the sale of shisha, which was put in place in 2017.
Sit and relax. Camera. 20.
We want to ensure that our people or our generation does not continue consuming issues of nicotine products. As we can be aware, our CS today also made sure, or he informed that the public should have their license being suspended. Those importers of nicotine products being suspended until they are vetted once again. So what we are saying is that we shall continue with the crackdown on issues of shisha, issues of the tobacco products, which are illegal within the nation of Kenya. So the message is very clear. Let us desist.
All right, back to the story that we read earlier on as Kenya marked its 62nd Madaraka Day, celebrating self-governance and the nation's strides since independence. Well, Kenyans across the country celebrated Madaraka Day in their respective counties in pomp and color, highlighting Kenya's continuous journey of growth and diversity. This story was produced by none other than Alvin Hidinji.
In Nakuru County, Governor Susan Kihika urged residents to embrace the use of affordable fertilizers to boost agriculture and business.
Na tunafanya everything we can to bring to order wenye wakamatwe wenye wanafanya hii maneno mbaya, na wenye wanaua watu pia wapelekwe ndani.
Huyu mtu anatoa risasi, anapiga mama kama hule mama ana hatia yoyote, mama anakufa. Yani huyo mtu ndio mnatuambia tushike tupeleke.
In Tana River County, leaders criticized former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of dividing the nation.
Wewe unatumama kila dakika. Gachagua ni matusi. Hakuna kitu mdomo yake anasema mazuri. Kila kisimama sijui Ruto huyu, Ruto yule, Ruto yule. Why are you making someone look so bad? Si kama unataka kiti ya rais uende ukatafute. Why are you abusing people?
In Elgeyo Marakwet County, the need for tackling insecurity in Kerio Valley was emphasized. Wajir County Governor Ahmed Abdullahi, on his part, called on the Ministry of Health to resolve the health workers' dispute under the Universal Health Coverage (UHC) program, condemning the transfer of salaries to county governments.
As long as kila mtu anaweza kutii sheria na kufanya kazi kwa bidii, kila mtu anaruhusiwa kutembea mahali popote. Ninawahakikishia kwamba kama serikali tutakasanati na tuhakikishe kwamba hii shida ya Kerio Valley ya kutokuwa na usalama inaweza kukwisha kwa wakati huu, ikwishe kabisa.
As a Council of Governors, we have absolutely no issue with them being absorbed into permanent and pensionable cadres. But we are saying the funds have to be available.
The Kiambu County celebrations were overshadowed by controversy surrounding Juja Member of Parliament George Koimburi, who was accused of staging his own kidnapping.
Koimburi, tafadhali kuja hapa ufanyie watu wa Juja kazi. Ukuje ufanye kazi ambayo tulikutuma.
Elsewhere in Kisii County, Governor Simba Harati blamed the contractor of the Cancer Center for delays in construction.
Huyu mtu ambaye anajenga Cancer Center, imagine tumejenga headquarters, tulianza nyuma ya huyo mtu. Yeye alipewa, rais alipewa kazi mapema, sisi tukaanza baada ya mwezi moja. Tumeenda floor ya 5. Huyu mtu yuko pale chini. Na pesa hizi ni pesa ambazo tumepewa na wahisani. Sio kwamba ni pesa ana. Amepewa karibu milioni 400. Lakini huyo mtu hakuna kazi inaendelea.
In Migori, criminals terrorizing citizens have been put on notice to surrender all illegal firearms in their possession or face the long arm of the government. While in Siaya, there were calls for concerted efforts to tackle security challenges in the county.
Hapana jumuisha watu ni mwizi, na huyo mwizi ana jina. Si kweli? Kwa hivyo tutreat mwizi kama mwizi. Na huyo mwizi tumchukulia hatua kama nani? Kama mwizi. Mkichukua hatua ya 3 4 atakoma.
Lazima sharti tuangalie mambo ya usalama wetu kama county. Na usalama ikiwa tunataka tukue nao lazima tushirikiane. Mkituachia sisi peke yetu na polisi peke yetu hatutaweza. lazima tukuwe na ushirikiano wa
Nyandarua county leaders issued a stern warning to individuals involved in the production, sale and distribution of illicit brews. In Kirinyaga, there were calls to create more awareness and emphasize the importance of community engagement on issues to do with mental health.
Okay, in a bid to empower the youth and harness their digital skills while investing in their future, lobby groups in the Eastlands area of Nairobi have now embarked on reaching out to the youth through financial literacy training. Now, the training's technology aims to instill a culture of saving as well as responsible use of finances among the youth as they graduate.
Ikiwa ni zero.
So story ya budgeting imekuwa ni shida, story ya investment pia kuweka kuongezea biashara ingine imekuwa ni shida, but through the training at least imekuwa a whole day training yenye imenifanya nimeelewa some 2 topics and 3 zenye nitafanya nini nita actualize kwa biashara yangu ama biashara zangu zenye nitaweka. So kuna income na kuna expenses, so naweza differentiate so that nipate faida, nijue faida ni gani, najue losses zikwaje.
We've gained a lot and we are thanking our Madam Angeline. Whatever we've learned from today, we are going to carry it forward to our fellow CHPs, and even the lessons that we got from the financial literacy. We are going to teach our people whom recently we started our loaning and savings circle as Makadara CHPs. This is going to help us so much as we are continuing with the process so that we can grow and know what we are supposed to do and grow our economic in Kenya.
All right, so I think it's time that we pay some bills. We still have lots coming your way, so don't you go anywhere. Coming up after the break, we focus on Simon Mjomba, a unique footballer currently with Voi-based Police FC, who has been rewriting a script of what it means to play football.